Hello, so I just want to show you real quick how we can take this form here. So we filled out a form, it has populated this spreadsheet, and now I want to take this and I just need to add a couple bits of data to it in order to make the pivot tables to show my roster. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to be able to pull out just the date and not the time. So all I want is just the date from the timestamp, not the time. So I'm going to come over here to column F and I'm going to type in a header and I'm going to type in date. And then I'm going to use a function that's going to go and pull in just the date and not the time. I'm going to hit equal, and then I'm going to type in left, and then I'm going to do parentheses, and you'll see it says to select the string, so I'm going to come back over here to A2 and select that string, and then I'm going to press comma 10 and parentheses, and you'll see a preview. It's actually taking and pulling in just the date and not the actual time. Next, I'm going to do another column, and this one is going to be full name, because what I want is in my roster, I actually want it to be last name, comma, first name. So to do that, I'm going to type in equal, and then I'm going to find their last name. So here it's C2. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to type ampersand, quote, and then I'm going to do comma, space, quote, ampersand, and then the first name. And again, you're going to see that I had the little preview that was up above it, and it said Larson, comma, Kimberly. Now, when the next person goes to enter in the spreadsheet, or they go to enter in the form and it populates the spreadsheet, I want it to automatically take and copy these two functions and pull these down. So I'm going to use an add-on called copy down, and yes, I know I have a lot of add-ons, but it's okay. Yours will probably be up there towards the top, but I'm going to go ahead and click on copy down, and here's the copy down settings. When this pops up, you're going to see that the copy down is on here, but it's currently turned off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. It's then going to look to see where I have my formulas, and I'm looking at row 2 right here at the top. And it's saying that I have the date right here, and then I also have the full name. So now that I've turned it on, you'll also see that H now has a column here that says master formula row, do not sort, so I don't want to touch it. So I actually don't have to do anything at this point, but I'm just going to go ahead and click Save Settings, and I'm going to close out of this, and next time somebody fills in the form, then it's going to populate. So, and I'm actually going to take and pull this to the side. There we go. And then I'm also going to get my spreadsheet over here just so we can see as it's populating and filling in. I'm going to come down here. So this is what the student would fill out. They're going to come in here. They'll type in their name. So for the next day, they're going to type in their name. And yes, they are here. I'm going to click Submit. And as soon as I submitted, on this side, you can see that it automatically copied down the formula, it put in the date, and it also put in the full name, and you can see that it was copied down from up above. Next, what we're going to do is I want to show you how to do the pivot table. So to do that, I'm actually going to come up to Data, and then Pivot Table. So I went to Data, and then Pivot Table. Now it's going to ask me what I would like to do for the pivot table, and it also wants to know the data range. So I'm going to do select data range, and right now it's only going from A1 to H3, but I'm actually going to say select it from all of A to G. And I'm going to click OK. That way, as it grows and more people keep entering it in the actual form, it's going to then populate this spreadsheet. I also am going to, while I'm in here, I'm going to say insert it into a new sheet because I want to have a separate sheet just for this. I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. And now I'm at my pivot table. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go and just add in a couple bits of data here. So for our row, so all the rows down the side here, over here in column A, what I want to do is actually have the name. So for row, I'm going to come over and click on Add, and I'm going to say full name. So now you can see the full name here. Now for the column across the top, I actually want it to go ahead and do the dates. So, but I don't want to pull in from the date stamp, and actually I'll show you the difference. If I did date stamp, you're going to see that I have two different entries because it's pulling in the actual times as well. Instead of date stamp, what we want to do is pull in just the date. and not the time. So that's why we got just one entry, even though both of those were entered in on the same date. I'm actually going to come here and turn off the show totals and full name. I'm going to do show totals and turn that off. So right now I've just got the names. Now for the value, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add. Are you here? And I'm going to get summarized by, and right now I just have it as ones. I'm just going to leave it at that. I also might want to take this and maybe instead of having it straight across, I can also take my text and make it go up and down, and I can make the column narrower so that way I can see that this is 821. Now if I go in, for example, let's go in and change the date of one of mine right now. So right now it's showing you that I've checked in twice on the 21st, which is true. I have twice on the 21st. But let's go ahead and I'm going to change this date stamp just to illustrate, and I'm going to change it to the 20th. You'll notice that the date over here in F has changed to the 20th. And now if I go back here to my pivot table, you'll see now that I also have an entry here for the 20th and the 21st. So again, I can actually take and select these columns here, and I'm going to turn them all so that they're going straight up and down. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to adjust all the column widths in here. And now you can see that I checked in this day, but not on the next day, and vice versa. So you'll actually see, and if you have different people filling it out, so let's say instead of me filling out, let's say it was John Doe, and they filled it out. So now they did it on the 20th, and then we have John Doe right here because the formula has updated. When I go to the pivot table, you'll see John Doe was present on the 20th and Kimberly Larson was present on the 21st. If they kept filling it out, and let's say, I'm just going to copy this just to show it to you, and let's say that now I've got here, so let's say I went in on the 20th and I filled it out again on the 20th, and again it populates with the correct date and the person. When I go back to the pivot table, you'll see now that Kimberly Larson was in attendance on the 20th and the 21st versus John Doe was only present on the 20th and not the 21st because it's left blank or empty. Of course, you can always come in here now and you can actually rename, and you can call this attendance or attendance roster or something like that if you'd like to. I hope this helps, and please let me know if you have any questions. Best wishes and stay safe.